Hi guys, Shawn Davis here. So the other day I was out walking Mom, and there was a neighbor who was out in the yard, and so as I always do, I'm a very friendly person, so I spoke to the neighbor, and I noticed that his facial expressions, he just kind of seemed to be kind of down and out. But anyway, Mom was doing something, and so I said to him, my mother has dementia. And so he says, oh, my mother-in-law does too. And I said, really? I said, does she live with you? And he said, yes, she does. And I said, wow, I didn't know that we had that in common. And so anyway, as I walked away from him, I thought about his countenance, and I realized that, you know, the man was really struggling with this thing. Because as I walked away, I said to him, well, thank you for your service. You know, I know it's hard. You know, my mom has lived with me for 8 years, and so my husband has had to endure that as well. And I said, so thank you for your service. And so anyway, he was kind of like, kind of like that. And so I could just tell that, you know, he was in a down and out spot about it. So anyway, I kept thinking about him. He stayed on my mind, and so the next thing that came to my mind later on that evening was how to dementia-proof your relationship. Because Bruce and I, we really were able to weather, our relationship was strong enough to weather all of the adversities associated with Mom's dementia. And I started thinking about the things that we had done, because my husband Bruce, he passed away 2 years ago from pancreatic cancer. He actually passed away on September the 11th, so 9/11 of 2016. And at that point we had been married for 23 years. And so I started thinking about the things that we had done that gave us the strength, our marriage, the strength to endure all of the travails associated with Mom's dementia. And one of the things that I remembered us doing that was one of my favorite things was I put pieces of paper up on our bathroom wall. And as you can see, this is a paper, it's been run off on the computer, and it has hearts going all around it, and it says, sweetheart, I love and appreciate the following things about you. And so this was posted on the wall, and so now I have all of these wonderful messages that are still with me to this day. But back at that point, the point that I'm making is that every day we were charged with writing something on the sheet. So now every day you're preoccupied with, what will I write today? And you really notice what the person is doing or what they have done, and you're more preoccupied with the positives associated with that person as opposed to the negatives, because you know how the tendency is to replay and replay all of the frustrations. But now that you have to write something on a sheet every day that's a compliment, that is positive, now your mind is focused on what that next comment is going to be that's positive. And so, and you also look forward to seeing what your loved one has written about you or to you. It's like a love note to you. So anyway, Bruce wrote here, the first thing he wrote on his was, you greet me with effervescence. And he put most times and put a smiley face. He says, the way you care for people. You are an exceedingly wonderful mother. Your parenting partnership. Your life partnership. And so he wrote all of these things one day at a time. And so you can imagine how wonderful that was. And the other thing, it was free, because when you're dealing with parenting and raising children, and then you take on the responsibility of caring for a parent, you don't have much time, you don't have much money, And so it can't always be going out for date night anymore. It can't always be sitting on the couch and watching a movie together, because we did those things as well. But when dementia got added on to the parenting plate, then our time really narrowed in terms of our ability to do anything special. So this is cheap and it pays off dividends, and I recommend that you take this step to dementia-proof your relationship. Now I'd like to share some of the things that I wrote to Bruce. So, Bruce, I love and appreciate the following things about you. And I wrote, you clued me into the Oscars, i.e. fashion observations, your work ethic and focus, all the beautiful romantic memories. You've done so many fantastic things. The memories play on and on in my mind. Your mind control. You accept me. Your forethought and vision for your life. Your support of children, yours and beyond. The academics, the rides, generosity. So anyway, and then the list goes on the back as well. But the point being is that, as you can see, we were preoccupied with all of these wonderful things about one another, and to put it in writing, and now that he is no longer, it's still here. And these kinds of things really help to dementia-proof, to strengthen your relationship. So, and these were some more sheets. I won't go on to read anymore, but once one sheet was filled up, front and back, then another sheet was set up. And so this was a continuous part of our lives. And a wonderful suggestion to give you. So dementia-proof your relationship with words of affirmation. There's a book out that we loved called The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman. The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman. I recommend that you purchase that book, although you probably don't have time to read if you're dealing with dementia. But anyway, I want you to know that that was the origin of thinking about words of affirmation. Bruce and I were in charge of the marriage and couples ministry at our church, and so this was something that we put forth at our church for other couples to do as well, and they loved it. Everyone said it was a fantastic contribution to their marriage. So, words of affirmation, dementia-proof your relationship starting today. If you don't have time to do a computer print job, take a piece of notebook paper, 2 pieces, one for him, one for you, put it up on your wall, and get this habit started today. If you like this video, like it, share it, subscribe to our channel, visit our merchandise store, support our efforts to support people who are dealing with dementia or the caretaking of any illness associated within the family. It is so important to honor our relationships with people who have served us. When my mom was healthy, she served her family with the best that she had. And because of that investment and because of that role modeling that she gave me, I am doing the same for her. And so let's keep this cycle of love and commitment and community going. When people are sick, stand by them. And when people are caregiving, stand behind the caregivers to enable them to serve the person who is sick. Do it today. Thank you so much.